Have you ever felt lost amidst the crowds, searching for something you can't quite define? The truth is that the answer to this feeling often lies in solitude. Being alone is not a burden, but a valuable opportunity to discover your true essence and achieve real prosperity. Feeling alone is a common experience when embarking on a deeper spiritual journey. Often, the quest for self-knowledge temporarily distances us from everyday relationships and external distractions. This distancing, which may seem like loneliness at first, is actually a gateway to a more prosperous and spiritually connected life. It is in this emptiness that the opportunity for a genuine spiritual awakening resides. True prosperity arises when we allow ourselves to immerse in our own company, in our own vibration. Solitude can undoubtedly be uncomfortable, but it is precisely in this discomfort that personal growth finds space to flourish. On the path to a prosperous and self-aware life, learning to coexist with oneself is an invaluable skill. The sense of disconnection from others, as uncomfortable as it may be, is not an obstacle but a chance to connect with oneself on a deeper and more authentic level. Many great spiritual masters went through periods of isolation before achieving a higher level of understanding and a more fulfilling spiritual life. Imagine isolation as an intentional pause. Just as a musical pause accentuates the beauty of the melody, solitude on the spiritual path intensifies inner harmony. By stepping away from external expectations and social pressures, the individual finds freedom to question, reflect, and rediscover their innermost beliefs. This process brings to light the roots of true prosperity, which goes far beyond financial success. True abundance is reflected in inner peace, spiritual clarity, and a higher vibration. Those on this journey might, for example, adopt practices such as keeping a self-knowledge journal. Writing about your feelings and emotions, especially in moments of solitude, is a practical way to document the process of spiritual evolution. The introspection resulting from this simple act can reveal patterns and thoughts that would otherwise remain hidden. This strengthens spiritual connection and understanding of what it means to live a prosperous life, where peace and satisfaction go beyond the material plane. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell to keep receiving content that will elevate your level of consciousness. The journey of self-knowledge often begins with separation. Separating from the external world is the first step toward starting to listen to the inner world. This process, though it may seem lonely, is vital for spirituality to flourish in its essence. A financially abundant and prosperous life in its true nature begins with understanding our own vibrations and the value we carry. The silence that accompanies solitude allows our inner voice to gain strength and show us the way. Over time, those who embrace solitude as part of their journey realize that it is not a burden but a blessing. Spiritual growth happens in silence, and it is in isolation that we give ourselves the opportunity to deeply reflect on who we are and what we truly desire for a prosperous life. This is a process that often occurs away from the eyes of others, but it is precisely this space that allows us to regain our energy and align with our higher vibration. Solitude also offers a fertile ground for questioning. Why do we seek external validation? Why do we feel the need to be accepted by social groups? When these questions arise, we are a step away from a powerful spiritual transformation. Detaching from these demands allows us to see that prosperity and inner peace come from a source within us, not from the external world. It is no coincidence that many spiritual leaders and thinkers retreat to meditate, away from all distractions. In this sense, many who experience solitude on the spiritual path report an increase in their ability to manifest a more prosperous life. Temporarily withdrawing from social interaction allows people to focus on what truly matters: their highest goals, beliefs, and relationship with the divine. This, in turn, directly impacts other areas of life, including financial life. A mind aligned with the spiritual creates opportunities for abundance in all areas. When dealing with solitude, it's important to remember that it is a natural part of the process of self-knowledge and spiritual growth. True prosperity is not just a matter of material resources but of a higher spiritual vibration, achieved through this inner journey. Being alone allows us to reflect on the true nature of our existence and the influences around us. When we allow ourselves this time for introspection, we begin to see isolation not as a prison but as a liberation. Therefore, learning to embrace solitude is fundamental. Prosperity and true abundance come to those who are not afraid to be alone, who understand that solitude is a powerful tool for self-knowledge. It is at this moment that one begins to see spiritual life from a new perspective, where each moment of disconnection from the external world represents an opportunity to strengthen the inner world. Those who dedicate themselves to this journey find that isolation brings a higher vibration and a more prosperous life. Being alone does not mean being abandoned. On the contrary, it means being in the best company one can have, one's own. This directly reflects in how we relate to the world, how we view our financial life, and how we perceive prosperity around us. As the process of solitude progresses, it opens the doors to a state of mind where spiritual connection and self-knowledge become the greatest sources of happiness and fulfillment. A powerful tool for the quest for self-knowledge is meditation, which has the incredible ability to transform solitude into solitude, a feeling of peace and completeness even in the absence of company. When the mind calms, the soul opens to self-knowledge and a higher spiritual vibration. Regular meditation practice teaches that true inner silence is not emptiness, but a space where peace, prosperity, and clarity flourish. From this place, negative emotions such as fear and anxiety dissipate, making way for a prosperous life in harmony with the spiritual. It's remarkable how meditation can completely transform the way we handle life's difficulties. Instead of being consumed by problems, we learn to observe them with a calm mind. This, in turn, directly impacts our financial life, as the mental clarity generated by meditation allows us to make wiser decisions, both personally and financially. Each conscious breath brings us closer to a higher vibration, where prosperity is seen not just as a material issue but as a state of mind. Through meditation, it is possible to transform the feeling of isolation into an opportunity for growth. Daily practice, even if for a few minutes, connects the practitioner with their spiritual essence and opens doors to new perceptions about themselves and the world. Those who have never meditated can start with simple practices like mindfulness, focusing on the breath or a specific sound. Gradually, this practice promotes emotional cleansing, where the elevated spiritual vibration begins to reflect in all areas of life. A practical example of how meditation can transform your spiritual journey is guided meditation. There are various apps, such as Calm or Insight Timer, that help even beginners connect with their inner self. These practices can be done lightly with 5 to 10-minute sessions a day, which is enough to start noticing a transformation. With each session, the practitioner perceives how inner silence allows for a more prosperous life, where the spiritual is the foundation of all decisions, including financial ones. Additionally, meditation also teaches us to embrace negative emotions and transform them into positive ones. It is not about escaping feelings of sadness or loneliness, but about observing them with compassion and allowing them to transform. Over time, this constant practice raises our vibration and helps us attract prosperity to all areas of life. When we are aligned with our spiritual self, abundance flows naturally, including in our financial life, as we begin to act with greater wisdom and purpose. It is important to remember that meditation is a process. The benefits are not always immediate, but with patience, the results start to become clear. Distractions decrease, clarity increases, and a deep inner peace emerges. Gradually, financial life and self-knowledge intertwine, as a calm mind has the ability to attract and manifest prosperity in all senses. A prosperous spiritual life directly reflects in decisions that guide us to a balanced and abundant financial life. When meditation becomes a regular practice, a person begins to perceive how it creates space for joy, even in moments of apparent solitude. This is the moment when loneliness transforms into solitude. The peace that emerges from inner silence brings a sense of contentment that does not rely on external factors, such as material possessions or social validation. This state of mind naturally reflects a prosperous life, where spiritual balance serves as a guide to a more mindful and stable financial life. Another benefit of meditation is the increase in perception. When we are constantly connected to the present, we can identify opportunities that previously went unnoticed. This state of mindfulness opens doors to more conscious decisions that align with our spiritual vibration, which directly affects the prosperous life we seek. After all, financial abundance is just one of many manifestations of true prosperity, which begins within and expands to the external world. Meditative practice is also a powerful way to balance our emotions. Instead of being driven by impulses and immediate reactions, we learn to act with calm and discernment. This not only impacts our social and professional interactions, but also our finances. A balanced mind makes wiser financial choices, aligned with the higher purpose of living a prosperous and spiritually connected life. Over time, this clarity brings a sense of fulfillment that transcends material concerns. Another important point about isolation is that, although often seen as an obstacle, it is actually a valuable opportunity for personal growth. When one is distanced from external distractions and social influences, the mind finds the necessary space to reflect on the deeper issues of life. In this silent environment, self-knowledge flourishes, revealing thoughts and beliefs that were previously hidden. For those seeking a prosperous and spiritually connected life, isolation becomes an essential tool for internal discovery, allowing each individual to find their true vibration and purpose. Away from external noise, personal beliefs and values begin to take shape. This process of internal discovery is one of the cornerstones for achieving prosperity in all areas of life, including financial life. Often, we are so immersed in others' expectations that we forget who we really are and what we want. By distancing ourselves from external influences, we can identify what is truly important for our spiritual and material development. This clarity of purpose is what guides us to a prosperous and balanced life. Those who seek self-knowledge and personal growth may find in isolation a fertile space to reconnect with their essence. A practical example of this is the habit of asking oneself questions during moments of solitude. Questions like, what are my true values? Or what is preventing me from achieving the financial life I desire? Can open doors to deep insights. This practice of introspection helps uncover behavioral patterns that often block the path to a prosperous life, both spiritually and financially. As a person begins to explore these answers, they also start to recognize their true talents and potentials. Discovering what makes us vibrate positively is the first step toward achieving prosperity. Isolation allows us to explore these possibilities without the pressure of others' opinions, allowing our own inner voice to strengthen. When we become aware of our spiritual and material potential, we pave the way for a more aligned and prosperous financial life, where each decision is guided by self-knowledge. In the process of internal discovery, isolation also provides the opportunity to question and reevaluate limiting beliefs. Often, we carry ideas and patterns inherited from others that no longer serve us. By distancing ourselves from these influences, we can assess what truly makes sense for our spiritual and financial journey. Letting go of these limiting beliefs makes room for true prosperity to manifest in our lives, leading to a higher vibration and greater alignment with the spiritual. During this period of isolation, it is also possible to perceive how certain behaviors or relationships may be draining our energy. When we temporarily disconnect from the external world, we can identify what uplifts us and what pulls us away from a prosperous life. This type of reflection is crucial for those seeking not only spiritual prosperity but also material abundance. By recognizing sources of negative energy, we can make more conscious decisions and direct ourselves toward a path of self-knowledge and financial growth. A practical exercise to aid in this process of internal discovery is the practice of weekly self-assessment. Setting aside a specific time to analyze one's own actions, thoughts, and feelings is a way to keep personal growth in motion. By reflecting on how we behave in relation to our spiritual and financial goals, we begin to identify where we are sabotaging ourselves and where we can adjust our vibration to attract more prosperity. This simple practice can be the beginning of a prosperous and spiritually connected life. Isolation also offers the chance to explore new ways of thinking and acting. Often, it is during this time that new ideas emerge, bringing the possibility of innovation in both spiritual and financial realms. By distancing oneself from external influences, the mind opens to creative solutions that might otherwise go unnoticed. This underscores the importance of self-knowledge in building a prosperous life, where financial and spiritual choices align with our true selves. Another fundamental aspect of personal growth during isolation is the ability to reframe past experiences. Often, we are stuck with events that have happened and that continue to influence our present choices. Isolation gives us the necessary space to reflect on these experiences and find new meanings for them. This process of reframing is essential for those seeking an elevated spiritual life and a prosperous financial life, as it allows us to release energy stuck in the past and make room for new opportunities. Isolation is also a powerful opportunity to heal wounds that we may not even realize we are carrying. By distancing ourselves from the external world, we find a safe space to look inward and identify the hurts and traumas affecting our vibration. This process of inner healing allows us to release stagnant energies and regain control over our own lives. When energy flows healthily, we experience a more prosperous life, both spiritually and financially. During these moments of solitude, we begin to notice how toxic relationships or old patterns may be draining our energy. The process of recovery involves detaching from those connections that no longer serve us. A practical example would be identifying people or situations that leave you feeling exhausted after interactions. When we manage to free ourselves from these influences, the path to a prosperous life opens up, and our spiritual vibration rises, creating a stronger connection with the divine. Through this energy recovery, we find the strength to reinvent ourselves. Many who go through this isolation process report a sense of renewal, as if they have lifted a weight off their shoulders. This is because letting go of what no longer serves us creates space for new energies and opportunities. This renewal directly affects our financial life, as a lighter mind and spirit can attract prosperity in unexpected ways. The more energy we recover, the clearer the path becomes to a prosperous life in harmony with the spiritual. To facilitate this healing process, it is essential to create a self-care environment. During isolation, small well-being rituals, such as herbal baths, nature walks, or practices like Reiki, help align our vibration and accelerate healing. The physical and emotional bodies are deeply connected, and taking care of both allows energy to circulate in a balanced way. This creates a cycle of prosperity, where the spiritual strengthens the material, and the material strengthens the spiritual, bringing a prosperous life in every sense. Energy healing also involves forgiving oneself and others. Often, we carry resentments and guilt that drain our vital energy, preventing us from experiencing true prosperity. When we allow ourselves to forgive, we release these shackles and open up to a higher vibration, where peace and prosperity walk together. This practice of emotional and spiritual healing not only transforms our inner life but also our financial life, as wiser and more balanced decisions begin to emerge. In addition to forgiveness, another important step in energy healing is learning to say no. By isolating ourselves from external chaos, we begin to understand our own needs and limits. Saying no to things that do not resonate with our essence is an act of self-love and protection of our energy. This practice allows us to focus on what truly matters and maintain our vibration in a state of spiritual prosperity. When we are aligned with our truth, we naturally start attracting situations and people that contribute to our well-being and financial life. This healing process is profound and does not happen overnight, but every small step makes a significant difference. By allowing ourselves to feel the pain, recognize traumas, and release stagnant energies, we are creating a new reality. The recovery of personal energy results in a sense of empowerment, where we feel capable of facing any challenge with serenity and focus. This stance directly reflects in our prosperous life, as we begin to make decisions based on spiritual balance, which naturally leads to financial prosperity. During this process, solitude becomes an important ally. It provides the necessary silence to process emotions, reconnect with our inner strength, and connect with the divine. Many find practices such as yoga and Tai Chi to be effective ways to restore physical and spiritual energy. These practices promote energetic balance, which is essential for maintaining a high vibration and attracting prosperity. When the body and spirit are aligned, financial life also harmonizes, reflecting this alignment in material abundance. Those who dedicate time to energetic healing during isolation often experience a rebirth in various areas of life. Energy recovery allows us to return to the world with a new perspective, stronger and more connected to our spiritual essence. This rebirth directly impacts our vibration and, consequently, the prosperity we attract. Financial life also transforms, as the clarity that comes from healing enables us to act in a more conscious and directed manner, aligning each step with the spiritual vibration we wish to cultivate. In spiritual terms, feeling isolated can often be interpreted as a sign that you have been spiritually chosen to follow a unique path. This feeling of disconnection from the world around you is not a coincidence but an opportunity to connect more deeply with the universe. Those going through this phase of spiritual isolation are being called to a higher mission, which involves unconditional love and a higher vibration. It is at this moment that a prosperous life, both spiritually and financially, begins to take shape more clearly. When someone is spiritually chosen, there is an opening to manifest the most divine aspects of oneself. This process not only allows for personal evolution but also the ability to impact the lives of others. The challenges that arise during this journey are, in fact, learning opportunities, preparing you to pass on this wisdom. Those who understand the true value of self-knowledge and spirituality gradually manifest a prosperous and balanced life in all aspects. Being chosen also means experiencing a profound release of emotional pain. Often, solitude brings painful feelings to the surface, but it is precisely this process that allows for liberation. The path may be challenging, but the result is a stronger connection with the spiritual and the ability to vibrate at a higher frequency. When this transformation occurs, you realize that you are better prepared to live in prosperity, both in terms of spiritual happiness and financial success. Pain no longer dominates. Instead, it becomes an ally. This process of becoming chosen also involves a deep alignment with the laws of the universe. Those undergoing this process begin to perceive how their intentions and actions directly impact what they attract. Prosperity, both spiritual and financial, starts to flow more naturally. When we become aware of our role in the universe, we manifest our desires more easily, whether in the form of a prosperous life in all respects or the peace that comes from spiritual balance. The feeling of being spiritually chosen is not about superiority but about responsibility. It is a call to live with greater purpose, aligning every decision with the life mission entrusted to you. This involves recognizing that financial life and spirituality are interconnected. By raising your vibration, you open doors to prosperity in various areas of your life. Financial choices, for example, become wiser and more intuitive, based on a deep connection with your spiritual essence. Being chosen also brings the ability to manifest unconditional love, not just for oneself but for others. Through isolation, you learn to cultivate this love from within without relying on external validation. This process of self-discovery brings a profound peace that reflects in all areas of life, including financial life. Those who manage to live in this state of unconditional love find that prosperity is a natural consequence of their elevated vibration, attracting abundance organically. The journey of the spiritually chosen is also marked by the release of material attachments. Often, solitude provides the clarity needed to understand that the true value of life is not in the things we possess but in the inner peace we cultivate. When we detach from material things, ironically, we begin to attract more financial prosperity. This happens because a prosperous life is a reflection of a free spirit, no longer controlled by external illusions, but guided by an authentic spiritual vibration. Those who are spiritually chosen start to realize that pain, losses, and challenges are not punishments but paths of learning. This understanding brings a level of acceptance and strength that transforms the entire life experience. Each challenge faced becomes an opportunity to grow and align even more with the divine mission. When you view life from this perspective, the path to prosperity becomes clear, as you understand that all difficulties are merely steps towards a state of spiritual and material abundance. Another important aspect of being spiritually chosen is the ability to manifest your desires consciously. This process of manifestation is not based on effort but on alignment with the flow of the universe. When we connect with our true essence, everything we need starts to manifest naturally, whether it is financial prosperity or spiritual fulfillment. This alignment is what differentiates those who live in abundance from those who are constantly struggling for it. During the journey of spiritual isolation, one of the greatest lessons is the release of the need for external validation. Often, we spend much of our lives seeking approval from others, believing that our happiness depends on external recognition. However, by stepping away from the noise of the external world, we begin to realize that the true source of joy and fulfillment comes from within. Self-knowledge and spirituality teach us that when we connect with our essence, prosperity arises naturally, independent of what others think or expect of us. This process of liberation starts subtly but, over time, becomes a powerful transformation. Solitude offers us the space to reflect on who we are, away from social expectations and imposed standards. When we stop seeking external validation, we begin to act according to our inner truth, and this raises our vibration. As a result, our life aligns with spiritual and financial prosperity, as our choices are guided by our essence rather than by the need to please others. The freedom to live without others' approval provides a type of peace that is difficult to find otherwise. Many spend their lives seeking success and financial prosperity based on standards that do not reflect their true nature. By freeing oneself from this cycle, a person begins to realize that true prosperity comes when we are in harmony with our spiritual purpose. And it is this elevated vibration that naturally attracts the opportunities and resources needed for a prosperous life. By detaching from external validation, we also gain greater clarity about our own desires and goals. Without the weight of others' opinions, we are able to make decisions that truly resonate with our spiritual journey. For example, imagine you have always dreamed of pursuing a career path that brings more personal and spiritual fulfillment but have been discouraged by others. By freeing yourself from this need for approval, you will finally have the courage to follow the path you always knew was right, and this will inevitably result in a prosperous and financially aligned life. The practice of self-knowledge is essential in this process. Setting aside moments to reflect on who you are and what you truly want is a powerful way to free yourself from external pressure. A practical way to cultivate this connection is by keeping a journal, recording your thoughts, feelings, and daily accomplishments. This simple act of writing helps us hear our own inner voice, strengthening our vibration and attracting prosperity, not just spiritually but also financially. Another key to freeing oneself from external validation is learning to trust your intuition more. When we stop seeking others' approval, we open ourselves to hearing our own internal wisdom. Intuition strengthens as we distance ourselves from external influences and connect with our truth. This self-trust is crucial for achieving a prosperous life, as it enables us to make decisions that align with our spiritual path and, consequently, attract prosperity at all levels. Many wonder how this freedom from validation can directly impact financial life. The answer lies in the confidence we develop in ourselves and our choices. By trusting our intuition, we make wiser and bolder decisions that bring us closer to a prosperous life. This self-confidence is evident not only in how we relate to others but also in the opportunities we choose to embrace. It is this strengthened mindset that leads us to achieve both spiritual and financial prosperity. Freeing ourselves from external validation also helps us understand that other people's opinions never truly defined our worth. When we realize this, the pressure to meet expectations disappears, and we start acting in alignment with what brings us genuine happiness. This new state of being, where we are centered in our own vibration and truth, is what attracts prosperity in all aspects of life. We no longer need to chase success. It starts to find us naturally, whether in the form of spiritual growth or financial prosperity. However, this liberation is a process that requires practice and patience. Along the way, we may encounter situations that test our need for approval. But each time we choose to act according to our own truth, we are strengthening our spirit and raising our vibration. When we are aligned with this elevated frequency, everything we desire, including financial prosperity, begins to flow more easily into our lives, without the constant effort to please others. Pain and solitude, though often feared, are true blessings in disguise during the spiritual journey. It is through these moments that we are forced to look inward, discover our true essence, and grow deeply. Solitude often brings a clarity we could not otherwise attain, allowing for a stronger connection with the spiritual. When we embrace these experiences rather than resist them, our vibration rises and prosperity, both spiritual and financial, begins to flow into our lives more naturally. In moments of pain, the first impulse is often to escape or seek distractions, but these feelings are an opportunity for transformation. Pain is not an end in itself, but a process of rebirth. Imagine yourself as a sculptor, chiseling a rough stone until it becomes a masterpiece. Pain is part of this process, sculpting our soul and preparing us for a more prosperous and spiritually rich life. By accepting these moments as part of our evolution, we open doors to a prosperous life in all senses. Solitude also has its value when viewed from a new perspective. Instead of seeing it as isolation, it can be viewed as solitude, a sacred space for reflection and self-discovery. It is in this solitude that we uncover the spiritual strength within us, a strength that allows us to manifest our desires and achieve true prosperity. People who have learned to value these moments of introspection find that their financial lives also begin to thrive, as they make decisions more aligned with their values and life purpose. For many, embracing pain and solitude is a challenge, as we are accustomed to associating these experiences with weakness or lack of success. However, it is precisely in these moments that we find the greatest power for transformation. Pain reveals what needs to be healed, and solitude offers the space necessary for this healing. By allowing ourselves to go through this process, we create a solid foundation for a prosperous life, whether spiritual, emotional, or financial. Those who open themselves to this reality see their vibration rise and prosperity begin to manifest in their lives. Pain also teaches resilience, an essential quality for achieving any form of success. Imagine a person who, after experiencing a great loss, decides to use that experience for growth rather than giving in to despair. It is this decision to confront pain that puts them on a path to prosperity. By transforming pain into strength, we elevate our vibration and become capable of manifesting a prosperous life, both spiritually and financially. In this process, we learn that pain is an ally, not an enemy. Moreover, solitude provides a space for manifestation. When we are alone, without distractions, we can focus our energy on what we truly want to create in our lives. Many use this time to meditate, reflect, or practice visualization. These practices help align our vibration with our desires, which, in turn, attracts prosperity into our lives. If you are going through a period of solitude now, try using this time to visualize your goals, both spiritual and financial, and see how prosperity begins to manifest. Pain and solitude also teach patience and acceptance, two fundamental qualities for spiritual growth. When we learn to accept what is beyond our control, we find an inner peace that does not depend on external circumstances. This peace strengthens us, making us less vulnerable to the ups and downs of life and more focused on our spiritual path. It is this emotional stability that attracts prosperity in all areas of life, including financial. The prosperous life we seek begins when we learn to embrace uncertainty and trust the process. These difficult moments are also essential for developing compassion, both for ourselves and for others. Pain connects us with human vulnerability, making us more understanding and empathetic. By living through these experiences, we gain the wisdom needed to help others on their own journeys. And, interestingly, the more we help others, the more prosperity we attract into our own lives. This is the law of return. The more you give, the more you receive, whether in terms of financial prosperity or spiritual growth. Embracing pain and solitude is, above all, a way to strengthen our faith. When everything seems to crumble around us, it is faith that keeps us steadfast. This faith does not need to be tied to a specific religion, but to a trust in the life process, in the certainty that everything we experience has a purpose. By trusting in this purpose, we are able to see beyond immediate pain and perceive the prosperity that awaits us ahead. This unwavering faith is what keeps us moving forward, even in the most difficult times. Finally, when we embrace pain and solitude as inevitable parts of our spiritual journey, we begin to see that these moments are preparations for something greater. They prepare us to receive the blessings that are to come, whether in the form of financial prosperity, spiritual growth, or personal fulfillment. The prosperous life we desire becomes possible only when we accept the growth process and allow ourselves to transform through pain. And it is this transformation that leads us to profound self-knowledge and spiritual connection. Now that you understand how solitude can be a powerful ally in your spiritual journey, it is the perfect time to take the next step. To achieve a truly prosperous and authentic life, it is essential to let go of others' expectations and the standards that limit us. Are you ready to release these constraints and create space for a richer, spiritually connected life? Don't miss the next video, where we explore how to let go of what no longer serves and make way for true prosperity. Click on the video appearing on your screen to discover this revealing truth. See you there.